is Priyanshu Kumar and my roll number is 20CH30021. Our assignment. Here we are going to write a source code, and then after writing that we are going to assign voltage value and run this motor in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. So this is the schematic capture diagram of this setup. This is a dual HC-IC bridge, and here we have two motors, but in this example we are going to use only first channel A motor. The output 1 and 2 are of channel A, and enable 1 and enable B are for channel A. The output 3 and 4 are for channel B, and input 3 and 4 are for channel B. We will be using only channel A here, as I said earlier. Enable A, input 1 and input 2 pins are only to regulate the speed of the channel A motor. Enable A and enable B are connected to IO4, and IO4 is connected to IO6. Input 1 is connected to IO12, and input 2 and input 4 are connected to this XNOR logic gate element. By using this PWMA, we are going to control the speed and direction of channel A motor, that it will run in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Here PWM signal is in on 6th pin. Now let's go to the source code. This is the source code that I have written. Here speed in RPM is equals to PWM upon 255 into maximum speed. This is the formula given for speed of the motor. We have initialized the PWM variable as 200 initially, so accordingly this will give the result. Here in setup function we have given pin mode 12 as output, and input for input 1 pin digit, this is 8 output for braking, and this is 8 and set to low for to disable the brake. This is pin mode 6, which is given as output, and this is connected to enable A. Here it will be high. We have assigned pin 8 as high. Now under loop function we are going to write PWM6 as, and we are giving analog signal to PWM 6th pin, and it is given by in between this range. If it is between 0 to 255, it will be given by 200 upon 255 into 5. This is by this formula. Now let's build our project. It is being compiled, and now let's go to the simulation and run the simulation. Zoom it over here. This shows that the motor is setting up its values, and let it settle at the motor has set at a particular value. Now it is quite stable. So now let's change the PWM value as 100. Ideally it should be half. The speed should be halved, as this in this formula you see that when it will be instead of 200 it will be 100. The speed should be half. Now I am compiling it. The code is compiling. Yes, it is compiled. Now let's again run the simulation. We have run the simulation, and the code is working, and motor is setting up to a particular value. It has settled up to 9 point something, and the motor is running in the clockwise direction. This is actually not the exactly half the speed, but then also the code is working. Earlier it was 32, now it is half, not actually half, but then also the speed is in clockwise direction. Now let's move on to the next part of the assignment.
The second part of this assignment, it was Node-RED based assignment. For opening Node-RED server, go to control panel and then write Node-RED. Once the server and all pallets are being loaded, we will be getting an address. Just copy that address in the browser. Once copied, this kind of interface will open. Here we have introduced one slider in the flow option. this slider is for water level controller. The minimum value is 0 and the maximum is 100. Once we are done, we will be introducing a gauge. In this gauge we will be putting the maximum value of water level in centimeters to 100 and minimum to 0, and also be setting different colors for this at different levels. Secondly, again we have introduced a gas pressure and slider, and this under this gas pressure the maximum pressure will be 50 in and flow chart and the chart here chart we are using bar chart, and the maximum pressure will be 50 bars and minimum will be 0. Once we are done, just we have to deploy them, and once we deploy it, open the Node-RED UI. Here we have opened the Node-RED UI, and as I am increasing the pressure, you can see the bar is also increasing with the help of this slider, and as I am increasing the water level, the pie chart, this gauge is also increasing and with different colors. At 100 it is red. So in this fashion it works. Thank you.